Hi everybody, I'm Elisa and welcome to my channel Lunar Elise. Today we'll be doing a reading for Mercury Retrograde in Pisces. The dates are February 16th through March 9th. I'd also like to point out that Mercury will be transitioning back into Aquarius on March 4th through the 9th. And that's going to add a little bit of extra flavor to the whole experience of Pisces. And yeah, just some of the other interesting astrological things going on. Today on March 16th, we'll be in Mars in Capricorn, which is really, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So we'll be able to approach everything in the Mercury retrograde with consistency and commitment to make our business more effective, which is also relevant to Uranus being in Taurus, which kind of offers us a unique perspective to what we can offer to bring to the material world. So that's just a little bit about the astrology. I could talk a little bit more about it as we get into the video, but first I'm going to go ahead and pull two cards for the main message at the end of our reading. The first being from the Liquid Oracle cards. And before we get started, I'm just going to ask that you take a deep breath with me. And I ask that we're grounded and present, open to receive messages, and that I can be a clear channel. So we'll pull one card from here and another card from a Moonology deck, and that will be our overall energy. Some of the other things we'll be looking at is, for this Mercury retrograde, is what it is calling our attention, what are the gifts, and what are we being asked to release. So let's go ahead and start. These cards are a little sticky, so we might not get one that pops out. What is the overall message? We got three, too many. I'm happy to be back with you guys. I'm using this Mercury retrograde's energy for myself to kind of reapproach YouTube and what I want to do with my channel, what I want to create, what I want to recreate, how do I want to reapproach it, essentially. One more card for the overall message. Whoa, we're taking it. Okay. So first we're going to be looking at the overall situation, action, and outcome. So situation, we'll pull two cards. We have the Four of Pentacles reverse and the Seven of Swords. So I'm seeing it as, and this is so interesting because some of the research I was doing for this Mercury retrograde, this is already kind of referencing the Taurus and Uranus and like the Pisces energy altogether, because with the Seven of Swords we can be feeling a little defeated, like there's this fox kind of creature, the sly fox, right? So there could be communication that like isn't quite clear, right? Because that's like kind of a theme of Mercury retrograde, but it's that Neptune Pisces energy that makes it all kind of mysterious and is asking us to sit on it. And if it's saying it kind of like, with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, I think it's saying, to let go of that communication. If it's causing you a lot of confusion, it can mean a lot of things, but mostly I think it's saying to just kind of release it. And what I'm referencing with Taurus, Taurus is the first earth sign, and they represent I have, meaning, they can, they're ruled by Venus, right? So they're a lot about the materialistic world, the luxuries and things like that. And so with the Pisces, the eldest sign of the zodiac, we're kind of reassessing, like, is this what we want to bring into our life? Is this what we want to offer the world, right? And so it's letting go of these old standards, these old things we've been telling ourselves, the old things that we've been hearing, whether it's by society or ourselves. And it's kind of just being okay with what we have right now. And that's what I think is so beautiful about the Mercury retrograde happening in a water sign, because it's allowing us to just sit in our emotions, which is beautiful, to just feel it and not have to explain it, not have to talk about it, not have to force an understanding. And I think, as it goes into Aquarius, that's when we're gonna kind of be like, when all the logic starts to kick in, but that's not till the end. So that's not our main focus, but it is saying, these things, the deceit, the strategy, the mind confusion, it will be released here with the Four of Pentacles. So 2 cards for the action. We have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I think this is kind of just reaffirming what I was speaking to. It's letting go of these things in the physical world. We, a lot of people, whether you're celebrating the whatever New Year you celebrate, we're now into that energy where either people are kind of stuck with what they wanted to bring into the New Year, or they haven't, and a lot of that reason is because it wasn't the right time, and the energy wasn't allowing for it, and so it's kind of just asking for us to let go of more, and to not, like, I guess it is in a sense that, like, we're not so much in the physical world right now with Pisces, right? It's very spiritual. And so this is calling action to our soul. What does our soul want us to release more than anything? So that we can bring into the things that we want into the physical world that resonates with us on a soul level. Because whatever is happening right now, it's not quite in tune with us. So the outcome will be the Page of Swords and the Lover's reverse. This is interesting, because when I saw that the Lover's was reverse, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it that way. So I'm going to get clarification. I'm going to pull one more card, and we have the Nine of Pentacles. So now that we're kind of coming into a new way of communicating what we want to bring us into harmony, right? That's kind of the outcome. We're still kind of figuring it out, and it brings us to a place where we're very confident and independent and willing to give, but it's not quite that 10 of Pentacles energy, right? That we were seeing earlier. But it's because we released that we were able to kind of stand up into this new spot. And I think the Lovers being in reverse is just kind of stating that it's still a head in the heart matter that is needing to come into flow for us. And for me, when I look at the year 2020, and I even look at this being the first Mercury retrograde of the year, the next one not happening until the summertime, around the time of our the solar eclipse in June, those happening in Sagittarius and Gemini, right? So, this is us working out whatever we need to work out to get us to the next step. What do we need to readdress? Mercury retrograde is a medicine, and what I think was beautiful about, again, this Mercury retrograde being in Pisces is retrograde. Back when ancient older astronomers were observing the planets, they thought the planet was geocentric or heliocentric. They thought, it's hard to look at this on video, but imagine here is the planet or the Earth or the sun. I can't remember the complete who this aligns with, but heliocentric meaning the sun. So it gave the illusion, right, that it was kind of spinning in circles and going back, and that's where retrograde comes from. So it's only an illusion, right? It's only the Neptune, Pisces energy. It's only an illusion, and it's kind of working through the disillusion and finding it in our soul. And so that's what this one is really allowing us to do, to start speaking about the things that we want to manifest so that we can become more in harmony with ourselves. All right. So, I hope that wasn't too quick. I hope you kind of have a good idea about what's going on. I'm going to take a second to reshuffle this deck, actually. I wouldn't typically feel called to do that, but I felt like to move on to the next segment of the video. That's kind of what I want to do. And, you know, I think that's just an example of, right, following our intuition. And that might upset some people that want to create structures around things like the tarot and, you know, psychic readings and things like that. But to me, working with any client or even with myself, I like to follow the rule that there is no rules, because, and I think that's even the Pisces energy, right? Kind of letting go of that structure that's holding us back from really following what our soul is calling us to do. So let's look at 2 cards for what is calling our attention right now. The Hangman reverse and the 7 of Cups reverse. If this wasn't like Pisces energy, I don't know what is. I'll go ahead and put it in the upright for you guys to kind of get a clearer image. But there's all these options, right, that we have to follow. There's all these things that we're feeling, and it's gonna be a lot. But I think what's beautiful even about this stuff being in reverse, it's saying, yeah, you know what? If you just sit with your emotions and you take your time, all this stagnant energy or this stuff where we feel like we can't choose, it's going to be there for us. It's going to be there if we ask for the signs, if we listen to our body and just tune in with ourselves and be like, oh, wow, this communication, this action, whatever is happening right now is really calling attention to my heart right now. What is that telling me? I'm feeling it in my left shoulder. What is, you know, like there's all these more questions that we can ask ourselves, because with this energy, we're in a sense disassociating from our old self, because there's a lot of energy, you know, this new decade. You know, if you've heard a lot about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and what that's offering us, like with our structures and kind of digging up things from the past, right? And that's what, you know, Mercury retrograde is kind of seen as, things coming up from the past. How do we need to approach things differently to really be in tune with our emotional selves, to allow our emotions to fuel us? So I'm going to go ahead and get some more cards for clarification. What is the Hangman and 7 of Cups reverse about? So we have the North Node, destiny, soul school, learning curve, fulfillment, purpose, maturing, experience, fruition, blossoming journey. And then Leo, expressive, creative, loving, playful, extroverted, proud, trusting, self-confident. So I think what this is saying, this combination is like, okay, what the decisions that we're making now, we must do it with confidence, right? To really be in tune with our bodies, to our emotional selves again, right? To know that what we're learning right now, what this process is about, there's a greater purpose. Mercury retrograde isn't here to upset us or cause us, you know, heartache or mental ache or, you know, frustration. It's here as a lesson to help us further along ourselves in our journey and to keep doing it with confidence, right? Because it's not like we were always so cognizant of Mercury retrograde. It's, you know, it's not that, like, not everybody's talking about it, right? But enough people are talking about it that it's catching wind, and it seems as though like the negative aspects are what people are attaching themselves to. But no, if we look at it, we can be playful with it. We can be creative. We can take a lighthearted stance to it instead of being like, oh, like, you know, with the traditional hangman energy, we're stuck until we find a perspective change. But no, the perspective change is that we can take this with passion and see it like, you know, this is just a part of the experience. That's it. Okay, I'm going to get a numerology card to kind of get further clarification for what is this Mercury retrograde calling to our attention. So, change, and then I had a card that fell, pride. Interesting too, Pride coming out, because that, the proud kind of Leo energy. And this to me is the aspects of having that confidence that whatever changes we're calling in to free ourselves of old patterns, right? With a 19, this is us taking the leadership to create new beginnings, to end old patterns, right? Ultimately, the 19 making it into a 10, a 1, which to me 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, right? In the major arcana. So it's about just that continuing cycle of just us moving through the motions to keep things going. And we have to change, and our soul is calling us to change. And the communication might not be as clear, but again, because we're not used to communicating with ourselves that way, but that's what's changing. And that I think is what's going to allow further Mercury retrogrades, whether it's this year or the continuance of this one, or the one from 10 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever you want to say. This is all just preparing us to know how to use the planetary energy for our benefit. And I think it's beautiful. I'm going to get one more card from John Holland's Psychic Tarot to head this energy of what is calling our attention. The Fool, new beginnings. Spring, we transition to spring in the Pisces season, right? Aries, this card represents Aries energy. And in a sense, it has some Uranus energy to it too, which is kind of like, the unique, different aspects to everything. Just kind of not knowing what we're getting into, but having faith, right? That the changes that we're making, we're doing it with confidence, and just knowing in our soul, in our heart, that these are the steps that we need to be taking in order to keep moving. And just as we go through this Mercury retrograde, to just keep reminding ourselves of that, right? Okay, so what are the gifts? 2 cards for what is a gift? The Queen of Cups and the 9 of Wands in reverse. Slow down and feel our emotions. I think this message is so straightforward. The Knight of Wands is fast-moving energy. It's action. Not only is it a fire sign, but the knights in the minor arcana are all action-oriented. And sometimes they can be too quick, right? And the Knight of Wands, you think of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and how fast fire energy is. And it's important to remember to pace ourselves, right? As we go throughout life. And a part of that means that, yes, we need to really feel, we need to kind of, the way this queen is reaching out her cup and asking it for it to be filled, it's saying, okay, I'm ready to receive, right? The feminine is receptive energy. I'm ready to receive the messages, in particular, our left sides of our body, right? What are we putting into our bodies? What are we putting into our emotional selves, our mental self? Does it feel good? Does the energy around us feels good? What are we receiving? Do we have aches and pains? Are we not allowing ourselves to receive, what? Are we trying to rush through everything? The thing is that, this retrograde is a healing opportunity, right? Whether it's something from our past, or whether it's something that we could see happening for us, or whether something isn't happening for us, or, the stereotypical view of our technology breaking down, right? What is that telling us to slow down and just feel about? I guess I can't stress it enough. So I am going to take a Black Moon astrology card. Moon, 2 souls. So this is this reminds me of the High Priestess in the traditional tarot. And then I would look in my book and check, but I don't have it near me right now, if that's the card that this resonates with. But that is the emotional aspects of everything, right? It's very much with this Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Cups. It's even a similar energy of blues and greens, right? And even this little bit of purple, trusting in our intuition that whatever we're receiving is for our soul's purpose, our advancement, the things that we're bringing into our life. So we'll go ahead and grab a numerology card or two and ask, like, what are we being asked to slow down around? Patience. Hold on. And then I'm going to, what are we asking to feel more of? And spiritual career and communication. So to me, the two threes here is representing the solar plexus, the yellow energy, right? Which is our fire, our creation energy. So it's saying, yeah, feel it. What is your gut calling you to do? Talking about in the beginning of the reading, what is this Uranus, Taurus energy kind of calling us to do? Instead of manifesting, more materialistic things that we don't need, or are, that isn't calling our soul, right? We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So now with the Queen of Cups energy, it's saying, listen to what your body is saying to you about how you want to advance yourself in a career that is more satisfying to your soul. Does that mean that you're having to release one career altogether? Or does that mean that you're just having to change the things around your work life or your home life or whatever in general? And listen to that communication. Start talking about it. Know that this is a personal growth opportunity, a spiritual growth opportunity to manifest the abundance and prosperity that we want to bring into our life. And again, confirm, verify, look at the Knight of Wands in reverse and this Patience card. They're both orange. That's our sacral energy, the energy that helps us manifest, but it's also resonates with with water, right? Our emotional energy. Slow down, feel our emotions. It's okay to have patience. It's okay that we're not quite getting the answers that we would traditionally get communication, but this is a way to recreate and reestablish the communication that we have with our soul self, the spiritual world, and the world around us. There's a lot of big things happening this year. Whether you see it as political or just in the sense of 2020, which is a number 4 in numerology, which is asking us to create the structure in our life to set us up for the next decade, the next however many years, how long you want to work on it, look at it. But this is important for our foundation for the next parts of our life. So again, we're releasing more of these physical things and the things we're trying to bring in, and just calling it into our emotional, spiritual self. And that's a gift. That's a gift. Okay, so now, what are we being asked to release? 2 cards for that. The Tower in reverse and the Star card. It's interesting energy, especially because the Star card representing Aquarius, and that's how we're ending this Mercury retrograde. It's like, in a sense, like releasing the bigger picture, I'm going to get clarification for the Tower in reverse. We have the Moon. We might not have all the answers. We might not know exactly the steps that we're needing to create. But I think with the Star card, it's saying that if we just surrender and release that, like we're being called to restructure all these things, whether it's with our personal self or our physical self, emotional self, that restructuring will come, that ability to rebuild, to just have faith. Like, right, this is the second time we've seen a Moon card, and this is the Pisces season, right? I know it rules Cancer, but it's also very much a watery Pisces energy, and so with these being three major arcanas, this is the huge thing in our life that we're needing to release. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like there's a sense of like, oh, I have to do this again. You know, like, I have to release these people. I have to talk to this person again. I have to plan my trip again. Like, all these like little frustrations, but there's a gift in it. And if we just choose to sit in it and find the hope and see that, like, oh, this was kind of how things were supposed to go. This is a part of destiny. This is a part of, you know, however you want to look at it, just the journey, right? It won't be as frustrating, you know, as the tower, whether it's in reverse or not, can be. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more clarification about what are we needing to release. And I had 3 cards pop out, and I'm going to take them. So we have Capricorn, the boss, 8th house, intimacy, and 6th house, the craft. So work, details, investments, intensity, secrets, mysteries, kundalini energy, stalking. Yeah, so maybe somebody needed to hear that. Serious, authoritative, ambitious, realistic, structured, traditional, and wise. So, you know, with Capricorn here, and also the 6th house, which is Virgo energy, they're both being earth signs. This is again kind of, what do we need to release in the physical world? You know, that very ambitious energy of Capricorn and Virgo, to plan oriented, and just see that, you know, with the 8th house too, the contracts, investments, things like that, inheritance, mysteries. It's a very interesting energy of just saying, these things that we've been working towards with our intensity, our passion, and all of this. It's time to just kind of let it be right out. Again, the Mars is in Capricorn, which is just going to help us get through it. So if you find yourself trying to force yourself to do something, which could be influenced how Mars, what planet Mars, or what sign Mars is in your astrological chart and houses. You know, it could be a very difficult energy, or it could be an easy energy where you're going and going and going, and like, you know, like, oh, that feels weird, I'm going to sit on this and think about it, but I'm going to keep going, right? And so instead of just you know, with the 8th house in particular representing Scorpio, which might be an obsessive energy, it's like, oh, I have to keep going, I have to keep bringing this physical stuff into the world, whether it's my healing, right, with Virgo, or Capricorn, whether it's my structure, my business. And it's saying, hey, release that. It's okay to just be in the moment and feel. So yeah, I feel pretty passionate about that. We'll go ahead and pull some numerology cards to what is it that we're needing to release. Individuality, and I'll pull one more. Music. I think with the star card kind of popping up here at the end, that being more of a humanitarian focus, and it talking to kind of like this, talking about releasing our individuality. I think it's saying, you know, at the end of the day, what is it that we're wanting to do for the collective energy? What are we wanting to bring into the world to be more comfortable, to build the ideal world around us? You know, we can't, you know, I'm not going to say we can't, but, you know, it's difficult to change a lot of structures around us. So it's like we're, in a sense, starting small, but there's a bigger picture thinking oriented with this energy. How, you know, music communicates to a lot of different people. So how can we bring more fun into everything, more of that flowing, feminine, receptive energy, and think about, yeah, this is about our soul self, but if we look at the collective conscious and, you know, unity and interdependence, or, you know, however you want to look at it, this is our souls are one, and it, you know, it's your view can be your view, and I'm not here to change that, but there is an essence of us all just being one. And what do we want to do to create a better world around us? We need to release some individuality, right? The materialistic things that we're talking about. Oh, I need this. That I was speaking of with the Uranus and Taurus energy. So now that we got all that addressed, let's go ahead and take a look at our main messages. For the Moonology card, we have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. This is communication that is setting us up, like I was saying, for the next Mercury retrograde, which will happen, I think, at the tail end of Gemini season. So this is what's preparing us, and this is you know, the Lovers in reverse. That's what we had, and the Lovers is represented by Gemini. So continuing to communicate head and the heart about what's going on. What is my heart telling me? What is my head telling me? Okay, soul, higher self, whatever, God, however you want to talk about it. That's what we're needing to communicate. And Moonstone, Mother Goddess, is our crystal. Try to get that picture for you guys. Okay, and again, like the Moonstone, we saw the Moon card multiple times, that watery, beautiful, emotional energy. I'm just going to go ahead and flip to Moonstone really quick in the book. And I'm going to read it if you'd like to stick around. But if not, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help me out as I, again, use this beautiful Mercury retrograde to reestablish how I want to approach my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. So, Moonstone. The goddess is at your door. It is time for you to open your heart and feel. Moonstone comes to us when it is time to feel and truthfully open the door to our emotional self. Many of us believe we already do this, but living in a constant emotional state is not true feeling, as it holds no mastery, discipline, or understanding. Moonstone asks you to sit and feel. Just sit. Don't label, think, act, or react. Just feel. By doing this, one gains the ability to experience the cyclical nature of our world, just as things arise. So they fall away, and we are able to surrender and be happy without attachment, right? Attachment to those physical things that I've kind of been referencing. This is the path of the goddess, and only those that embrace it may wear the Luna crest. Remember, a feeling is only a feeling while it is felt and experienced. Once it is recognized by the mind, it is a thought. Spend some time around the ocean if possible in the coming days. Call and ask the Lady of the Lake to be by your side. See her rise up and stand with you. She is always waiting and will help you at this time in your life. I think that's a beautiful way to end this message, man, right? Especially with the last line of remembering a feeling is only a feeling while it is felt and experienced. Once it is recognized by the mind, it is a thought. Which, and if we choose to act on those thoughts, yeah, is up to us, and whatever we choose to manifest out of those thoughts, right? But the most important thing that this Moonstone is telling us in this whole Mercury retrograde is just to feel. Thank you, Pisces. Thank you, Pisces season. Thank you, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, right? This is a time to just have gratitude. If we can flip it, the script, right? Rescript, which I love to add re in front of any time during Mercury retrograde or a retrograde, is how we can do that for ourselves. It is a gift. I loved being back and doing this with you guys, for you guys. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Much love.